Be live on 2 platforms now. That's what I like to see. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. I appreciate y'all viewership as always. It's your boy Dgotsauce, man. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if y'all are new. Make sure you guys tap in with me in the chat if y'all are here. Man, it's episode number 8. April the 13th, 2026, and we are moving forward. It's been a while since if you guys are watching on the regular Dgotsauce channel, it's been a while since I've last been on here. So please bear with me. I've been streaming on Dgotsauce Live, which I will put in the chat for everyone that comes in and tries to tune in. I will put it in there so people could see, and people could tune in there. But yeah, it's been a phenomenal year so far. We're on episode number 8. I've been streaming on Dgotsauce Live. That's where the season has been streamed on, and I'm now continuing to stream on Dgotsauce, just Dgotsauce. So people, and I'm going to type the name of the channel I want you guys to go check out, Dgotsauce Live. If you guys are tuned in, I want y'all to go check them out and subscribe over there as well, because we are live on both platforms. We're gonna get into the show. We got a lot of things to talk about. I'm gonna put some stuff in the chat for you guys to tap into. A poll thing you guys can talk about and think about and type your opinions with each other. Question of the day is what do I want to say? Question of the day. I haven't really thought of it yet, I'll be honest, but based off of the topics that we are talking about today, a lot of it has to do with, obviously, gun violence. So I want to kind of talk about that. And some of it has to do with immigration. I'm going to talk about that too. So there's apparently there's a man that hit a woman with a hammer in front of a gas station. We're going to talk about that for sure. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to put in the poll, but for now, we just get into the show and see what's going on. Make sure you guys hit that like button for your boy. Tap in, hit that subscribe button if y'all are new. Let me know where y'all are from, man, as you guys tune in, as you guys do this live, man. I appreciate y'all again. Let's get into it, man. We're going to talk about this first. Marjorie Taylor Greene is back in the headlines, and apparently he wants Trump to step down. Now, this is new news to me. I know that they had a little fallout, but this is new news to me. I didn't know she really wanted him to step down like this. So now we're going to tune in and see exactly what she got to say about this.
The Middle East remains tense amid this fragile temporary truce, even after President Trump backed down from his threat to eliminate a, quote, whole civilization in Iran.
And joining us now to discuss what's going on, the former Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. Congresswoman, thanks so much for joining us. I know you recently called for the president to be removed from office under the 25th Amendment to the Constitution after that threat that he made about destroying the whole civilization of Iran. The president has a long history of shocking and unprecedented social media posts. Why was this the final straw for you?
Because it's absolute madness. How can any person that is mentally stable call for an entire civilization of people to be murdered, to be wiped out, to never come back again? That's what the president called for. And that shows that there's serious instability in his thinking, that he would, not only would he even say that in a private room perhaps with his advisors, but actually go to his megaphone, his Truth Social, and post that for the entire country and the entire world. And
Let me know your thoughts.
It's unreal. This should never be tolerated. I know it's a very difficult, hard stretch to see it actually coming through, but the conversation needs to be had, and he's out of control, and people within the administration need to step up, take responsibility, and rein this in.
Is Trump out of control? The real question. A lot of people are saying yes, obviously, because they disagree with what he's doing in Iran. And I feel some type of way about it too, but the situation that we're dealing with Iran is a very, very sticky situation, because this war has been going on for so long now, and they've been trying to make it come to an end by just them not having the ability to have nukes. And if I was in Iran's position and I was going up against the United States of America, and they were telling me that they didn't want me to have nukes, or they didn't want me to have weapons, I'd feel some type of way about that too. I won't lie to you. I would feel some type of way. And respectfully, I would disagree with it. So I understand exactly why Iran is putting up such a fight in this war. And are they ever going to actually give up nukes? I doubt it. I really highly doubt it. But let's continue.
And administration officials, as we've heard, have said that he was ready to follow through with this threat. Just hours after he made it, he announced this 2-week ceasefire that's still very tenuous at the moment. The White House is claiming it was the president's tough rhetoric that brought Iran to its knees. What do you say to that?
I'm sorry, that's not tough rhetoric. It's insanity. It's calling for the murder of an entire civilization of men, women, children, of innocent civilians. That is not what I would call proper or even decent negotiations. There should be negotiations happening, and they did happen. And J.D. Vance, the vice president, was the one that helped bring that ceasefire. It doesn't seem to be much of a ceasefire, but it is supposedly a ceasefire. And that happened through negotiations through J.D. Vance. And J.D. Vance did not go to his social media and threaten to murder every single man, woman, and child in Iran. Presumably, we can only presume that that would happen through nuclear bombs, because that's the type of horrific weaponry that would be used to wipe out an entire civilization. So no, I push back on that. And I think the American people fully agree. Everyone was outraged.
I just want to be clear, Congresswoman, do you genuinely believe President Trump had the intention of killing Iran's entire population of more than 90 million people if Iran had not agreed to a ceasefire? Is the U.S. military, for example, even capable of that?
I don't think that our good men and women in the U.S. military would want to even carry something like that out. That's the other thing. And I think that's important to point out. Our men and women in the military are the greatest among us. They're serving our country, defending our freedoms, and I'm so grateful to them, and I support them so much. But we should never have a commander-in-chief that would call for the great men and women of the United States military to wipe out an entire civilization and put that on their shoulders. And, we've already got so many veterans that live with PTSD every single day in America, that can't sleep at night with terrible nightmares of the wars that they fought in foreign lands, foreign wars and foreign lands, not for America, for foreign countries and foreign purposes. And this is what the president was talking about. So I can only take him at his word, because those are the words that he spoke to the entire world.
In my opinion, in a way, I feel like he's using this as negotiation tactics. He's trying to fear monger them. He's trying to put them in fear. But at the same time, I in a way believe him. I do believe that he would be willing to go that far to prove a point.
Of Weberner says. Said hi. Of Weberner says. Said hi. A governor says.
I gotta turn off this
Said hi.
speech, huh? I think. Can y'all hear that? Hey, thank you for tuning in, regardless. But I gotta fix that text to speech. If y'all could hear that, I don't know if y'all could hear that, but
A governor says. He knows exactly what he's doing and on whose behalf. A governor says. He knows exactly what he's doing and on whose behalf.
appreciate
A
it.
governor says.
I don't know why this.
He knows exactly what he's doing and on whose behalf.
Is repeating a little bit too much. I appreciate the comment though. I gotta turn that TTS off. Let me continue, man. Let me figure this TTS thing out, man.
I just want to
Pigeon of
follow up with that. I mean, the White House
says,
has denied they were going to use a
yes, we
nuclear
can hear
bomb,
it.
but
Y'all can
for
hear it?
critics of
Pigeon of
Trump, they're
1698
like,
says.
you know,
Yes, we can hear it. Pigeon of 1698 says. Yes, we can hear it. One way, one truth, one life says. Yes, we do. One way, one truth, one life says. Yes, we do. One way, one truth, one life says. Yes, we do.
They're saying it like 3 times. That's terrible. That is terrible. Let me turn that off. Leave that. I appreciate y'all comments, but I don't want to. We don't want to be hearing them all throughout.
look, how can you say no one saw this coming? Obviously, calling
Let's
for
continue.
the death of a whole civilization is at a different level. But as Wolf mentioned earlier, Trump has been known for his bombastic rhetoric, right? He's been doing that for years. And
I agree
you
with you,
used to be
John.
a supporter. Now you're speaking out against him. But people might be asking, well, I mean, didn't you see this coming?
Well, you know, I've always been a supporter of President Trump for the policies. That's what I cared about. But once he became president, he changed his policies. What we campaigned on was no more foreign wars. And President Trump said he was going to be the peace president. Well, he's gone from being the peace president to the war president. And I don't support that at all. I'm not offended oftentimes by people's words. I mean, people on the right and the left have lots of different types of language and statements. However, it's their actions that is what I pay attention to. And the president lost my support when he covered up the Epstein files and called me a traitor and wanted to primary me because I supported women that were raped at 16 and 18 years old, or 14 years old even. And I don't support the president in going to war in Iran. And what we campaigned on and what President Trump promised America was to put America first. And now we've got rising inflation, gas prices are going out of control, but we also have to put the blame on both parties. $100 in 2021 is now only $80 in 2026 because of the declining value of the dollar. So Pamela and Wolf, I blame both parties for this, and it's an absolute failure to the American people, but I cannot support a president that wants to murder an entire civilization.
It's time to get back to America first. At the end of the day, respectfully to whatever he's got going on, whatever they got going on in the White House. Y'all ran on a situation saying America first. Y'all ran on this. Y'all said we're going to talk about Epstein. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Y'all ran on that too. A lot of questions is not being answered. And people are just really, really tired of it. We're really tired of it. That's the sentiment of a lot of people out there that even voted for Trump. Let's get back to America first, man. This is what we want. This is what we should be doing here.
Of people.
Right, and you called for his removal through the 25th Amendment after that threat. When you look at the polls, I wonder what your reaction is when it comes to MAGA Republicans, people who identify as MAGA. 9 out of 10 support this war, and that's pretty consistent across the board. How do you explain that?
Well, I would explain that by breaking down the demographics of that poll. The polling that I have seen is it's mainly the baby boomers, Republicans that watch Fox News all day, every day, are the ones that are mostly supporting this war in Iran. However, it's the majority of Americans, especially 50 and under, that do not support this war in Iran. And I would argue that if the baby boomer generation, my parents' generation, whom I love very much, needs to think clearly about how a war in Iran could have long-term implications for their children and their grandchildren, and really can reconsider their support for that. We've got the Strait of Hormuz is barely open, with very few ships going through. The price of oil is skyrocketing, and this isn't going to end quickly. This is going to have economic profound effects for a very long time, and it'll take a long time to get back on track, especially if this war continues and continues to escalate.
He was doing such a good job at first. Gas prices, getting more jobs coming in. Again, people wanted these things, trying to lower taxes and giving people breaks. But the stuff that is going on right now it's just not what we want. It's not what we looking for. Get back to bringing the prices down. Get back to putting more money in people's pockets. Get back to protecting American citizens, American people. It was good. It was good. But now it's not looking so good, man. I gotta be honest. We're starting to see a little bit of a decline, and I hope that he can turn it around. I hope that he does the right thing moving forward. But I think he's just being, at this point, it's not even like I feel like he's being controlled, but I feel like he just had his own agenda, and he's trying to run that out right now. That's what it's looking like.
So my prayers are with those that are negotiating a ceasefire and a peace deal. I very much hope that J.D. Vance is successful, because it seems to be his voice.
We don't want to see Iran disappear. We don't want to see Iran get nuked. We don't want to see people getting blown up in the Middle East. We don't want to see Ukrainians dying. We don't want to see none of that. We want the world to be at peace. We want the world to prosper. We want, obviously, we still want to be the number one country, but not in this way. Not in the way of we have to take over other countries and prove a point. We already know we the best. We realize that we got the best technology. We got the best military. To now be going out there and using it at a time where everything was just going so smoothly, I just disagree with that, man.
Is the one that is really pushing for peace and to end this. He was opposed to the war to begin with, as there's been many reports that have said that. And I really hope to see people in leadership in Washington, D.C. get back on track and care about regular Americans, because regular Americans are sick and tired of all of this, and they're tired of not being able to afford life. And they very much want the drama in Washington to end so that they can carry on and enjoy their everyday lives. They're not interested in killing people in foreign lands. I can tell you that much.
Congresswoman.
I know I just said that, but she just repeated exactly what I just said. That's the sentiment of normal people walking on the streets every single day, going to jobs, going to their 9 to 5, trying to make a living. That's the sentiment of these normal people. But of course, that's not what's going on. There's a point in time where, you can't just agree with everything that somebody is doing. Even me, as you're viewing me, like, I'm sure not everyone in the chat agrees with 100% of what I'm saying. And that is okay. That is fine. But to be up here and to say, yeah, I want to see the death of Iranian people, that's wild behavior. That is wild behavior, man. Just being
with
honest.
Congress out of town on recess once again right now, we really didn't hear the Republican leadership respond to President Trump's threat to eliminate an entire civilization. We did, however, see many Democrats join you in calling for President Trump's removal from office. What do you make of the fact that you seem to be more on the side of Democrats on this specific issue rather than your own party? What do you think?
Just to be clear, Wolf, I'm not a Democrat, so I want to make that clearly known. None of my positions have changed, but I think I'm one of the few honest Republicans willing to talk about it. everyone else is just afraid to speak out against the president because they're terrified of having an ugly truth social post dropped on them, or a primary challenge like what's happening to Thomas Massie, supported by dark money from billionaires that don't even live in Thomas Massie's Kentucky, the 4th District of Kentucky. That's what other Republicans are terrified. So they won't speak up. They're cowards. And I really have to call out the speaker, Mike Johnson, who calls himself a Christian. I don't know how he can stand by those words. That's what was so offensive to me. Any Christian serving in Congress or serving in the Senate and serving in the administration really needs to take pause and ask themselves, as a Christian, do you really support the president calling for the annihilation, calling to wipe out an entire civilization of people? And I don't think you should, because that's not what Jesus said, and that's not what Christianity is all about. And so I think that, yeah, I'm probably one of the few. It was me, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, and a few others that are willing to call it out and speak out against this, because we're willing to be honest. It's not about aligning ourselves with right or left or Democrat or Republican. It's about being honest.
Wow.
As for the ceasefire, the president is in
the Middle East.
Wow. And now he's all calling them traitors. He's calling them fake news. He's calling them deranged. Got Trump derangement syndrome. Like, the name calling, it was cool when it was like campaigning time, but now that it's here and you know, y'all was really on the same team, and now y'all acting like y'all not on the same team no more. It's sad to see. It's really, really sad to see. Like, this is what we talked about. This is what we talked about. I'm not trying to have you please all my needs, but yo, this is what we ran on. So why now all of a sudden it's a different story? It's a different story. But let me know y'all thoughts, man, down in the comments below. I'd really like to know y'all thoughts. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all viewership, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button for your boy as we get into the next, man. See what's going on with the poll. Is Trump out of control is the question of the day, and 66% is saying absolutely. Talk about it, man. Let's talk about it as we get into this next subject. It looks like there was a California deputy killed, and then the suspect was ran over by a car that killed a police car. Let's tune into the video and see what's going on out here in these streets.
We intentionally ran him over. Don't shoot at cops. You shoot at cops, we're going to run you over. He got run over. He got what he deserved.
That's it.
It all began with bullets flying in a Porterville neighborhood. This dramatic video showing law enforcement officers running for cover. Tragically, Tulare County Sheriff's Detective Randy Hoppert was shot and killed while serving an eviction order. And then an hours-long standoff taking place before that gunman was spotted wearing tactical gear and moving between houses, and then run over and killed by a Kern County Sheriff's Department Bearcat. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter following this story for us tonight. Leanne.
Mark, that violent and deadly scene unfolding in the middle of a quiet neighborhood this morning. It all began with what was supposed to be a civil eviction order. It ended in the deaths of that deputy and his killer. A barrage of bullets and a deadly gun battle with a heavily armed man claims the life of a Tulare County Sheriff's deputy.
Or advise me to put down the gun and stay inside his residence. Shots fired, shots fired. Officer down. Take cover. The Bearcat. Shots fired, shots fired. Officer down. No shots fired by the suspect.
After an hours-long standoff and repeated shootouts, the gunman finally taken down.
One of the Bearcats ran over him and killed him. We intentionally ran him over. Don't shoot at cops. You shoot at cops, we're going to run you over. He got run over. He got what he deserved.
The sheriff says 35-year-old Randy Hoppert, a 6-year veteran of the department, was shot and killed as detectives were serving an eviction notice at a home in Porterville between Bakersfield and Fresno. Investigators say the suspect, 59-year-old David Morales, was expecting law enforcement to arrive for the eviction and was lying in wait.
They were immediately met by a subject with a rifle. Gunfire immediately exchanged between the officers and our suspect.
The sheriff says Morales was armed with a high-powered rifle, the violent gun battle continuing throughout the day as negotiators tried every tactic to get him to give up.
Basically, he said he's going down in a blaze of glory and he ain't going down peacefully. He made that very well known.
He says when Morales finally left the home dressed in tactical gear and camouflage, hiding in neighbors' yards and firing at armored vehicles, the decision was made to run him over. Deputy Hoppert died at the hospital, leaving a department and his family devastated, all due to the action.
Cops got a tough job, man. I would never want to be a cop. I'd never want to be a cop. I'm not gonna be out here risking my life. Nah, not in this way. Like, if you come to my property, yeah, all right, cool. I'm gonna risk my life, but I'm not gonna go out my way and go be a superhero, try to save the day. No, I got a family I gotta get back home to. But I respect all the good cops out here that are trying to just do their job and keep society safe in some type of way. But man, that's a tough job to be.
Of one man.
He created this, and we have a 4-month-old baby that will never know his or her father. This is senseless.
Hoppert's death is the first line-of-duty death for that department in nearly 20 years. Governor Newsom says that the state's flags will be flown at half-staff in his honor.
That's sad. That's sad, man. That's sad. R.I.P. to that person. And we hope that their family doing well and can recover from this. We pray for a lot of peace in this world, because a lot of people, man, really tired of this violence. A lot of people are tired of people getting shot and killed accidentally, purposely. It doesn't matter. We tired of seeing it, man. We don't want to live like this. We want to live in a nice, comfortable place, where people get along, people do good for each other, and life goes on. But the violence, man, and we got it. It's so senseless in America to the point to where, like, we just comfortable with it. We just all right with it now. This is just a normal day in America. It's a normal day. It's crazy, man. I don't think like there should be like insane consequences for people to like kill each other, but like, why are we out here really trying to kill each other? Why are we out here trying to do this, man? It's not the way to live. Really not, man. Like, we got so much to live for. But I guess mental illness is real. We gonna get into the next subject, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all viewership. I really do. Make sure you guys hit that like button and hit that subscribe button too if y'all are new, man. I appreciate y'all viewership. This next subject is about ICE raids. Yes, Soleimani's family, Iran's old ex-leader, his family's home was raided in Los Angeles. Let's tune into the video, see what's going on out here in these streets, man.
Oh, it was a massive TikTok moment that's over. The American life of luxury over. Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement has arrested the niece and grandniece of an Iranian general the U.S. just killed during President Trump's first term. ICE busted them shortly after the Secretary of State Marco Rubio revoked their green cards. The pair had posted praise for Iran's regime and celebrations of attacks on the U.S. At the same time, they were living a very high lifestyle in L.A. Senior foreign policy correspondent Jillian Turner has more from the State Department. Jillian.
Good morning to you, Harris. These relatives of Qasem Soleimani did more than just praise Iran's regime and enemy of the United States on social media. These women publicly supported the IRGC, that's Iran's military, that's designated a foreign terrorist organization here in the United States. The Trump administration says that amounts to material support in this case. So take a look at these women. The niece and the grandniece of Qasem Soleimani, they are in ICE custody now, pending removal from the U.S. The Secretary of State says the move came after he terminated their legal status in the country last week, posting on X. Until recently, Hamideh Soleimani Afshar and her daughter were green card holders living lavishly in the U.S. She celebrated attacks on Americans and referred to our country as the, quote, Great Satan. President Trump often touts the operation he had authorized in his first term to take out Qasem Soleimani, a notorious killer responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands of people. He counts it among his greatest counterterrorism achievements to this very day. Take a listen to the president a moment ago.
We killed Soleimani. Without Soleimani, if they had Soleimani, it would be a whole different thing. Maybe. Would still be winning, but it would have been harder because we are obliterating that country.
Well, Soleimani's niece entered the U.S. on a tourist visa in 2015, eventually secured asylum, then obtained a green card. Despite frequent trips home back to Iran, she sought relentlessly during her time here to become an influencer on social media. Her daughter came to the U.S. that same year on a student visa and essentially never left. She, too, spent much of her time promoting herself and her American lifestyle on social media platforms. Harris, the hypocrisy here, I mean, barely warrants a mention. It is self-evident. If these women were back home living under the rule of the regime they say they love, they would not be allowed to post on social media. They would not be allowed to go out in public alone or even take selfies. They would not be allowed to attend college or school. They would be living under Sharia law. It would be a very different situation. Harris?
Absolutely. Jillian Turner, thank you very much. Former Department of Homeland Security advisor and former Secret Service.
Honestly, though, if I was their family member, I wouldn't want to be living in the United States if I know y'all are beefing directly with my family member and posting and doing all this. Like I would be in a different country, especially at a time like this. I mean, that's kind of just common sense, but let's continue.
Agent Charles Marino is with me now. Charles, a lot of people have been asking, how in the world did they stay here? That nobody ever said anything after, you know, their relative being annihilated in Trump's first term. We know that he was an enemy. The military took him out.
Well, it's the right question to be asking right now, especially since it appears that as a country, we still haven't learned the lessons of September 11th, 2001, where shortly after those attacks, the Saudi government requested that the FBI assist in relocating over 24 members of the bin Laden family after that attack. We knew he was leading al-Qaeda. We knew he was an adversary of the United States, and yet we had 24 of his family members here in the United States. And this is the same situation. I think the American people would be shocked to learn how many people we have allowed into the country, either through claims of asylum or on student visas or tourist visas, that are associated with adversarial countries, including the leaders of those countries. This needs to stop. We have got to understand that countries like China, for example, who continue to exploit American universities for the theft of intellectual property and destruction of scientific data, etc., continue to flood and exploit the immigration policies of the United States. And I don't think the American people should have to learn another tough lesson through another act of terrorism to understand that our policies are backwards right now. And some of our elected leaders continue to bury their heads in the sand and live in this augmented reality that just doesn't match what's going on the ground.
Look, having worked at DHS as an advisor, I mean, you know the details of what it can cost us, not just with 9/11, but just overall. It sows the seeds with other enemies. Like, well, maybe we can go to America after hating them and threatening to kill Americans and become an influencer. A new editorial with this headline: California should thank ICE for arresting Iranian terror generals' high-living relatives. And here's part of that. It is unusual for the families of America's sworn enemies to support the bad guys so openly while enjoying the California sunshine. Soleimani's relatives must have thought they were immune. After all, they lived in a sanctuary state. But as Rubio noted, Secretary of State, a green card is a privilege, not a right. And you cannot support America's enemies and expect to stay in the country. Charles.
Again, like I said, if I was me, I would have been gone. I would have been in Canada by now. Like, why are you in the United States of America if you know your direct family member is beefing with the president of the United States? Like, get out while you can. That's just common sense. But hey, a lot of people, I guess, think that they're privileged, man. They I thought that they were untouchable here and that nobody really cared about them being here, but clearly it's an issue. And you should have thought.
I think the administration is holding their breath, waiting for a big thank you from Gavin Newsom, just like they wouldn't get one from Tim Walz or Governor Hochul in New York City. These sanctuary jurisdictions are actually more likely to take the side of those that have been deported, no matter their association or the reason why they were here in the country. So, look, we are one of the most lax countries in the world when it comes to our border and immigration policies. And we saw that to an extreme under the Biden administration. And now the Trump administration has a great deal of catching up to do through Marco Rubio at the State Department in terms of vetting. Vetting that wasn't done.
Charles, I need to pull away. Please forgive me.
Was done.
Be sure to like and...
So they thought they were untouchable, and they got touched very clearly. Bad decision on their end. Gotta be honest. Let me know y'all thoughts about this down in the comments below. I'd really like to know y'all thoughts, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for your boy if y'all are new. We are almost done with the show. Got a couple more topics to talk about. Looks like the poll is still going. Trump is still, he's out of control. 67% is saying yes. 67% are saying that Trump is out of control, man. Let's get into the next subject. We got a Atlanta rapper got shot. She was pregnant. Went into the video. Went on out here in these streets.
A rapper's family speaking out after she was found shot to death in Atlanta. Why they say she was targeted. Hey, thank you so much for joining us here on 11 Alive and streaming on 11 Alive Plus. I'm Faith Jesse.
And I'm Cheryl Preheim. We begin with a story you'll only see here on 11 Alive News. A rapper's family identifies her as the woman shot to death in southeast Atlanta.
That's right. 11 Alive's Chase Howell spoke to the family who believes she may have been targeted because she was pregnant.
According to the family of Qualisha Barnes, she was 14 weeks pregnant when she was shot 4 times in the face.
Probably because I know I'm worth a milli.
You may know her by her stage name, Sididdy.
The only Diddy in my city with a lit wrist.
But those closest to her know her as a daughter and a sister.
I know her as Qualisha. I know her as Lily. I know her as we in the same house in the same bed. That's what I know her as. All that friend stuff, I don't care about none of that. That was my sister. That was my baby.
Give us the strength that we need to survive.
Hand in hand in prayer, the family of Qualisha Barnes asked God for strength while coming to terms with her senseless killing. And it's moments like this that are helping them deal with her death.
Generally, if you met Lily, you instantly loved her. And she was such a jokester, you know. She liked to laugh, and she always cracking jokes on me.
Barnes's mom, Francine Lopez Stewart, says her rap name fits her perfectly.
She loved makeup. She loved dressing up. She loved beauty. So, and she was a Diddy.
But Barnes wasn't just a rapper. She was also an aspiring nurse.
And she made for Diddy.
She loved beauty. So, and she was a Diddy.
But Barnes wasn't just a rapper. She was also an aspiring nurse.
She made the dean's list.
She had like 2 more semesters to go. She was so proud of herself, and we were so proud of her.
As for what justice looks like, Lopez Stewart says seeing not just one person held responsible, but multiple, because she believes her daughter was set up.
If you instigate something that causes a murder, then you need some kind, you need something. I think you need to go to jail too.
According to Barnes's family, she had been living in the metro Atlanta area for about 10 years. As far as the investigation into who may have killed her, well, Atlanta police says that's still under investigation.
Interesting. Pregnant rapper gets shot and killed in Atlanta. That's a tough situation. R.I.P. to her. R.I.P. to her. Family doesn't comfort. Gotta stop this senseless violence. Gotta get back to just loving each other, man. Real talk, man. Got a people coming in here saying, "Go Trump." Go Trump, go Trump. 92 says Trump with the American flag. Hey, man, not a lot of people are loving Trump right now, man. But we do hope that he gets back to being best president ever. Let's continue, man. Let's continue. Make sure you guys hit that like button for your boy. If y'all are new. We got this video of a Haitian man, Florida. Apparently he killed somebody with a hammer. Let's tune into the video, man. See what's going on out here in these streets.
Video of a deadly hammer attack in Fort Myers. The suspect is an undocumented Haitian, bringing renewed attention to the immigration debate. In Local 10's Leanne Morajon live now with much more on this story making the rounds on social media. Leanne.
The woman you're about to hear from says that using this crime to paint a broad narrative about Haitians as a whole is unfair, and we must warn you, the video you're about to see is extremely disturbing. A horrifying attack at a Fort Myers gas station now has the attention of President Donald Trump and the federal government.
An innocent mother was violently attacked and murdered.
Hey, I don't know if I should play it on YouTube. That was brutal. Goodness.
A horrifying attack at a Fort Myers gas station now has the attention of President Donald Trump and the federal government.
An innocent mother was violently attacked and murdered.
The Department of Homeland Security says the man wielding the weapon was here illegally from Haiti.
This senseless act has shocked our community and underscores the critical importance of immigration enforcement and our role in public safety.
Fort Myers police arrested Robert Joachim on April 3rd, hours after he bludgeoned a female store clerk to death with a hammer.
Why? Why though? Like, what is the reason to do that for? This can't be real. Like this can't be like life. Somebody actually wanted to do this to a person in real life, bro. Like, yo, what is going on in these people's minds, bro? What is going on? This is disgusting behavior, man. Disgusting behavior. And I know it's not all Haitian people. We know that for a fact. But whatever is going on in his mind particularly, he's tripping. He's bugging out.
DHS sent a news release about the incident, highlighting that Joachim entered the U.S. illegally in 2022 and obtained temporary protected status under the Biden administration, which expired in 2024. Posts of the video on social media went further, with DHS saying these are the consequences of importing the third world. President Trump echoing that statement, posting the full video of the victim's murder unedited and saying the crime was reason enough to end TPS for all Haitians. quote, "This one killing should be enough for these radical judges to stop impeding my administration's immigration policies and allow us to end this scam once and for all."
It isn't fair.
France V. Jarboth is an attorney and a daughter of Haitian immigrants.
It's not uncommon for this particular administration to identify one particular person from one group and try and push a narrative to say that immigrants from this community or that community and are doing or responsible for something like this. So
she sees this.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not all Haitians for sure. But again, there is laws for sure that we gotta follow here. Shout outs to Vinny. There's laws that are here that we gotta follow, and this is one of them that you cannot do. It's as simple as that. And I think the average, the normal, and the regular person knows this is not something you can do. Like, this is wild behavior, man. Real talk, man. This is wild behavior. Ain't no reason for somebody to be out here doing this like this in the streets. No reason at all. It's kind of crazy that we even seen a video like this. Like, people do some wild stuff in America, but this is definitely different, man.
This language is a continuation of smears on the Haitian community.
they're eating the dogs. While that was particularly debunked, people kept looking at Haitians thinking, is this true? Could this be true?
She says TPS for Haitians is still desperately needed.
By not granting TPS or not extending TPS, you're sending tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, frankly, to potentially go to a country where it's completely unsafe and they may be killed.
This is not the first time the Trump administration has used a video of a violent crime allegedly perpetrated by an illegal immigrant as grounds to justify its immigration approach. You may remember the murder of a woman on board of a commuter train in Charlotte. That happened back in August of last year, and that crime was allegedly committed by a person who was here undocumented. That video was widely shared by the administration as a reason for why immigration enforcement is important. As for this case, we should tell you that officials say that Joachim will be deported from this country no matter what the outcome of the case is.
Of course. He's out of here. He's out of here for sure. No doubt about it. He killed somebody with a hammer. Like, I'm surprised they're not trying to, like, do something more with this. To be respectful. This is bad behavior. This is bad behavior, man. But let me know y'all thoughts about this down in the comments below. I'd really like to know y'all thoughts, man. Vinny says, I'm really starting to believe that the people that are coming, those ones, wait, hold up. The people that are coming, the ones we see in the news are not all there. Or like their mind ain't all there. Absolutely, I agree. It's clearly his mind wasn't all there if he got the comment, the like, why would you get a hammer and go like for no reason? They didn't try to shoot you, they didn't try to kill you, they didn't try to take you out. You just went in your mind, and his mind is cracked. For sure. He's a cracked bottle. He's a cracked bottle, man. Somebody said every Democratic president in history lowers the deficit and gives us deflation and makes the economy stronger. Everyone? I don't know. I don't know about everyone. I don't know. We might have to fact check that one, but thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. We need some type of kind of intelligent check. If they can't pass them, send them back. Honestly, that's hilarious. Oh man, ain't no way of really knowing if a crack bottle is here or not until the bottle cracks, for sure, man. Sure. All right, we're gonna get into the last subject of the day. Apparently, Iran is asking for fees at the Strait of Hormuz. Let's tune into the video. Streets. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate y'all. Let's continue.
Here we go. President Trump says he's optimistic about working out a deal with Iran as Vice President Vance gears up for high-stakes peace talks in Pakistan.
But Iran's supreme leader is already complicating the process by floating plans to take over the Strait of Hormuz and demanding fees.
Trey Yinks joins us live from Tel Aviv with the details. Good morning, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. With high-stakes talks scheduled this weekend in Islamabad, Pakistan, an Israeli intelligence official tells Fox News Iran is indeed demanding fees for the few vessels it's allowing to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. This official adds the strait is effectively under full IRGC control. They decide who gets to go through, but more importantly, who doesn't. I am told that there is intelligence being shared in the intel community about how Iran is trying to tighten its grip on this strait ahead of the negotiations this weekend. Overnight, President Trump taking to Truth Social to talk about the issue, saying, quote, Iran is doing a very poor job, dishonorable, some would say, of allowing oil to go through the Strait of Hormuz. That is not the agreement we have. With just 8 vessels reportedly passing through the strait in the first 48 hours of the ceasefire, a statement was released via state media from Iran's supreme leader overnight, saying, quote, and certainly we are entering a new era with the management of the Strait of Hormuz. We did not and do not seek war, but we will not give up our rightful rights in any way. And for this, we consider all the fronts of resistance as one. The region is waiting to see the outcome of the talks in Pakistan as Iranian officials and U.S. officials appear to be discussing a different set of terms. Iraq's foreign minister spoke yesterday about the talks.
We discussed the upcoming negotiation process in Pakistan, and we support and encourage this process. And we hope that the negotiation process will achieve its goals, which are peace and security in the region.
One issue that appears to be a sticking point is whether or not Israel will still be able to strike Hezbollah, Iran's largest proxy based in Lebanon. Overnight, the Israelis struck a variety of launching positions in southern Lebanon, and shortly after, Hezbollah launched a rocket that triggered sirens in Tel Aviv.
I want to tell you, there is no ceasefire in Lebanon. We continue to strike Hezbollah with force, and we will not stop until we restore your security. Our great achievements, both in Iran and against the axis of evil, have brought about a historic change in Israel's status in the region.
Next week, talks are scheduled to take place between Israel and Lebanon, aimed at creating peaceful relations between the two countries and disarming Hezbollah. But again, this news we can report today. An Israeli intelligence official telling Fox News Iran is indeed demanding fees for vessels to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. We are reaching out to shipping companies to determine if they are paying these fees. Guys?
Trey, any talks of arming the people of Iran? I know it worked for Reagan with Nicaragua.
Yeah, about a week ago, I spoke with President Trump about this issue, and he said that they tried to get weapons into the hands of Iranian protesters earlier this year, and ultimately those weapons were kept by, the president says, the Kurds. I've reached out to regional sources who say that is true, that those weapons were sent and they did not get delivered to the protesters.
All news is fake news. That's the case, Eds.
And so certainly there are a variety of options on the table for the president. They're waiting to see what the outcome of these negotiations in Islamabad will be, understanding that the Iranians lack leverage at the negotiating table. The IRGC has been destroyed and decimated in the aftermath of Operation Epic Fury. Iran's nuclear program was taken out during Operation Midnight Hammer. The production lines for these ballistic missiles and drones were targeted in U.S. and Israeli strikes over the past 40 days. And so the Iranians have very little at the negotiating table, and officials say they are going to have to admit that they lost on the battlefield and have a change of tune if they are willing to get a good faith deal.
So, Trey, that's almost zero chance of Iran admitting they lost, saying take the uranium and you could have the Strait. So that makes you wonder, do they just go on with talks and say progress has been made like we saw prior to this conflict actually taking place? Progress. Or do you sense there's a timeline, maybe inside the 2 weeks, for these talks either to get traction or fall apart?
Trump is Jesus.
It's a great question. And look, President Trump has made clear, and this is true, that the Iranians often say one thing to the press and another thing at the negotiating table because they want to maintain this allure that they have power still within the country that has been largely decimated as a result of these U.S. strikes. But we're looking at a variety of issues here, and we are seeing, at least publicly, a difference in the positions being presented by the Americans and the Iranians. The president earlier this week said that Iran has agreed to allow a team to basically go.
Let me show y'all this real quick. Let me just show y'all this real fast. Trump as Jesus. Y'all see this? Y'all see this? This is what you talking about? Man. In my church, they would say this is blasphemy. This is blasphemy. Oh man, let's continue, bro. Let's continue.
To where these nuclear facilities had this enriched uranium, dig it up from where it was buried in the aftermath of Operation Midnight Hammer, and remove this highly enriched uranium from the country. The Iranians, just this week, their top nuclear chief said they're going to maintain the ability to enrich uranium. Then we have the issue of the Strait of Hormuz, where we know the president has demanded this passageway be opened. And the Iranians are sort of playing games, still not allowing vessels to freely flow through. And according to our reporting, demanding fees from those that are able to make this critical journey. And then finally, you have this broader issue of a program that not only supports regional proxies like Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis, but also an internal ballistic missile program that has threatened U.S. forces and allies across the region. And so unless the Iranians are willing to make serious concessions after they suffered this defeat on the battlefield, then the region would likely return to some sense of conflict.
All right. Great reporting, Trey. So you gotta disrupt the political leadership. And although we have killed, along with the Israelis, a lot of that structure,
that's insane,
much of it still remains in place. So you got two options. Either you take them out or the people uprise and take them out themselves. They don't have the weapons right now to do that. So I think when you had the general on and he was talking about us being on the 5-yard line, that has to happen. Not necessarily for regime change, but you're only delaying maybe 10 more years before they try to do this all over again.
And the general said that the Iranians, they're masters at delaying these negotiations. And he said everything that they value is on the table. We want them to give it up.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
That's hilarious. Yo, y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. Oh man, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Let me pull this thing. This is funny, y'all. People, the internet is out of control, man. The internet is out of control. Y'all see this, man? Y'all see this? This is our president, man. This is our president. They got him here trying to resurrect Epstein. People. Looks like the majority of the people that came in, 198 votes. Trump is out of control. Out of control, ladies and gentlemen. This was a great show, man. It really was. I don't think I have much more to talk about with you guys. I could stay on here a little bit longer and see what's going on out here in the streets. When it comes to news, anything. Speak about, unless y'all want to speak about, want me to review something. Not, I think we're gonna get on out of here, man. We're gonna get on out of here. Let me see. Trump is Jesus trying to resurrect Epstein. Oh man. We can see. This is what the internet does. This is what the internet does, man. It's a whole lot of odd behavior on the internet. yeah, I don't see anything else that I really want to talk about. Y'all boys, ladies, be easy. I appreciate y'all. Come on, people. Used to be smarter than that. This is it's the presidency. School chat, you idiots. Trump is different, man. Trump is different at the end of the day. He's like no other president that we have seen before, man. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. He's like no other president we have seen before. Thank you guys for tuning in so much. I appreciate y'all, man. It's been real. It's been real. I'll be back. Man. So keep those notifications on. Cause your boy gotta go somewhere, man. He gotta get some other stuff done. It was real, man.